Warning, warning. 2 idiots will become God in 66 seconds. Please cover your ears and await apotheosis.
Hello, welcome back. We're on the starship Tanhany Towers, en route to Venus. How are you doing now?
I am feeling just fine today. Smile.
Just fine? Not fantastic?
Not fantastic. Things in my life have been. I'm not going to get into the details, but let's just say I'm exhausted all the time. Working on getting not exhausted all the time, but it's been tough. I won't lie. But you know what? I'm here with one of my best buddies. You know, we got a podcast to record. We have some great fiction to read. I'm sure you've only picked the finest articles, and we won't read anything like that light novel again. Surely.
There's one of a kind. We won't have Joe again, unfortunately.
Now, I will say, readers, I'm not even going to try to recreate the bit, but just know that, once again, our best bits always happen off recording. We just had a whole thing. You wouldn't even get it. I can't even go into it. It'll make me sad.
It culminated in alternate universe edgy Pokemon anime continuation, where it transitioned from a Christian thing, where Pikachu was being crucified, to a fucking bad future where Ash is the CEO of Silphcore. He betrayed Pikachu 10 years ago.
It's so good. I need it in my veins.
One of his old boy Pikachu gets out of the prison. He stumbles out at the Times New Scurry, looks up Ash's on the monitors. It's a big shot.
And he's with his new best Pokemon friend, Charizard. Raichu. I thought you said you didn't want me to evolve. Sorry, but he's the upgrade.
That's before I understand what his strength.
Your stats just aren't up to snuff, Pikachu.
It's like Yakuza.
Yeah.
Raichu, member of the Ketchum clan, a subsidiary of Silphco.
It's got a massive tattoo on its back of Ash.
He's got a tattoo on the back of another Raichu.
Fuck.
Do you think you're the only one with a mouse on your back?
He burned down Pikachu's village. That's how Oak caught him.
I read your Pokédex entry lately, Pikachu. The electric mouse, huh? Well, you always smelled more like a rat to me.
Oh! Can we write this? I feel like this has to be a fan fiction. I need this in my veins.
And then when Pikachu defeats Raichu, kicks him into the boardroom where Ash is sitting, Ash gets him never trust a Pokemon to do a trainer's job and turn his shirt off.
Yeah, he just fights him Power World style. Yeah. Starts beating the shit out of Pikachu.
Ever since we parted ways, I took pains to learn the moves that you'd shown me.
I injected rubber underneath the epidermis to hamper your attack.
Pikachu's
go ahead.
Impossible. He's adapted Iron Tail to use with his hands. So this is human innovation, huh?
It's just Pikachu bouncing around the room with Iron Tail I need to broaden the interpretation. What is a tail?
No, I mean that Ash used it, but he doesn't have a tail, so he used his hand.
Yeah, he says Iron Tail, and he puts brass knuckles on it.
It just the air pressure destroys the fucking room.
Shouldn't it be Metal Claw? This punch has me feeling like $1 million.
They keep trying to make me use these master balls they've been developing, but I prefer to subdue a Pokemon with my hands.
I feel it. I don't even know where we go from here.
When Charizard tried to rebel against me, it gave me the greatest pleasure to snuff out that flame.
Pikachu just escapes Psyduck.
Psyduck's the new chief of security.
Psyduck. He's wearing a fucking suit with a gold watch.
It's fucking arcade eyes with him as guard dogs.
No. What were we doing again? SCP or something?
I started a bit about us being a spaceship. We immediately abandoned it.
You said something about... I didn't even hear the spaceship bit.
We're on the Starship Tanhany Towers en route to Venus.
Wow, have you been watching Star Trek lately?
I have actually, but that's beside the point.
I think... I have a theory, right?
Okay.
And maybe it's just, I know there's a different theory that's once something's in your consciousness, you see it everywhere. But, I think media comes in waves, right? Because a few weeks back, all my coworkers were reminiscing about Star Trek, And then I started seeing it more online, and now it feels like everybody's watching Star Trek right now again. And it's just like, thinking emoji. This is all happening for a reason, Nuzlocke face. Oh my god, did you ever actually read the Nuzlocke comics?
No.
Please do, they're so good. They're called that because there's like this guy, his C-Dot dies or something, and then it's like a picture of C-Dot looking like John Locke from Lost. He says, I believe everything happens for a reason. It's so funny. Let me see if I have it on hand. Oh man, I do not. Anyway, how many articles for today?
We have 4, but we're not going to read all 4, let's be honest.
Yeah, we're probably not even going to finish one.
Okay, we're probably going to finish. I'll be very surprised if we don't finish one. These are not long articles.
Alright, is there a running theme for today?
There are. These are all part of the same canon as we read last week, the sort of space opera one, Ad Astra per Aspera.
Ad Astra. How about subtract Astra?
What? So to begin, here is Sol N by Nat Voltaik.
By who?
Nat Voltaik.
Nat Voltaik. And what's this one called?
This one is called Sol N.
Sol N.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do it.
Like, you know the Pokemon character?
Yeah. Sol N.
How does he play into the AU? No, we can't. Keep going. I did mention that I like the idea of Butterfree coming back. He has the eye patch to show that he's like been through it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like sometimes you trust someone with your heart and they rip it out.
I had a family until Ash came back. He said he needed my power.
He squeezed them dry for their sleep
He's
powder.
like, I see, so you won't come back to my team because of this family. Then I'll simply get rid of the issue.
Ripping their wings off.
A Butterfree that cannot fly is nothing but a mere caterpie.
Oh my god! That's so fucked. We're calling this episode Evil Pokemon AU.
Pokemon 2.
Pokemon.
This is not AU, this is the official sequel.
That's why I had to get the new protagonist to set this up. Just give it a couple seasons.
It's like fucking Dio. You showed Ash like his face hidden, like we don't know what he looks like.
Charizard burns down a village. Someone didn't pay their dues.
He's like, like, do you hate me?
Don't hate me.
Hold
hate
on
the
to
game.
that hatred. Use it to imbue it into your Pokemon until their claws can reach my throat.
I'm pretty sure that was like the Gen 4 Rivals' whole philosophy. If you remember that guy.
Which one was who?
Oh, man. He was the one who was like, he beat his fucking Infernape. He's like, my Pokemon, I don't love them. They are tools of war. And I train them as such. And then he like beat Ash's ass a couple times.
I don't remember. I don't watch the anime, to be honest, that much.
Maybe I made that up in my head. So for me, my experience with the Pokemon anime is I used to watch a lot of the VHS tapes in like the original growing up, but I never like really saw the whole thing in order. And then like the rest was just whatever shows I could catch after school. So like I saw some episodes of Diamond Pearl, I saw some Advanced Battle, but like I didn't really follow it closely.
I learned about non-linear storytelling from the Pokemon anime.
True.
Because every now and then Brock will be replaced by that fucker Tracy.
Yeah, that was fucked.
I always liked the Orange Islands though, because they weren't in the game, so I thought like I was seeing like a secret zone.
I liked the Orange Islands as well. A fun fact, when I started wearing my headbands, my immediate thought was, wow, I look like Tracy from Pokemon, the Orange Islands. Anyway, we were reading Ad Astra.
Why was Brock
and
not allowed in the Orange Islands? Did you like do a crime there?
Sexual harassment, probably.
Oh my god.
They banned him from the country.
He had a history.
Yeah. Jesus.
Anyway,
fuck.
let's get into it. Item number SCP-4863. Object Class Safe. Special containment procedures. Foundation assets that operate within global space agencies to prevent the development of manned missions into heliocentric orbits lower than that of Mercury. Description. The SCP is a perceptual phenomenon experienced by human subjects in a 0.31 AU. What's an AU, don't know?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a footnote.
Please don't know.
Astronomical units. 1 AU is approximate to the distance between the Earth and the Sun.
Nice. Radius of the Sun. No forms of recording equipment, typical or paratechnological in nature, have been capable of observing the anomaly. Subjects describe it to be a second sun, following a heliocentric trajectory at an unclear distance from the solar system. completing an orbit once every 24 hours. This anomaly occupies an amount of space in the sky comparable to that of the Sun when viewed from the Earth's surface. Despite the aforementioned observational issues, subjects still perceive equipment in their vicinity as recording data on an anomaly. According to it, the SCP possesses the spectra of an A-type white star, with luminosity comparable to that of normal solar radiation. Details on distance are only described as farther than us. No other information can be discerned. Subjects state that the data is too bright to see. Turn the brightness down. Upon exiting the 0.31 AU radiance, all perceptual phenomena cease.
I have a question to ask you that could make or break our friendship. So you've played video games. I'm aware of that much. So you see, like in horror games or like in some action games like Dark Souls and shit, there'll be a thing and it's like adjust the brightness till you can barely see this. Do you follow that or do you just make it bright?
Wherever is the default, I trust it.
You know what? That's respectable. I respect that because that's just
trust
the game
the craftsmanship of the maker.
I always turn it till I can barely see it, but I know some people crank the brightness up.
They say that to me. If it's okay with you, you can adjust it however you like. I put a soft hand on theirs and like, hey, you made it, right? It's going to be perfect already.
Together we'll usher in the new world.
Hey, if you made it, I'm sure it's bright enough.
Damn, that's sweet of you. That's actually wholesome. You're a good man.
Thank you. I go to the officers to tell them that whenever I get a new game. When it shouts me that.
Yeah.
I see that, I'm like, I start Googling where the office is.
Wait, when were these written? Because this date I'm seeing is, like, going to happen soon.
Let's have a look. On 12/06/2024, this was... oh no. The Foundation Extrasolar Activities Division conducted an experiment using a ship recently outfitted with line distortion drive.
An experimental mechanism used to accelerate vessels to faster-than-light speeds. Designs derived from redacted by division orders.
This ship, the semi-autonomous exploration vessel Messier 002, was positioned within the radar required to view the SCP and was aimed at an angle towards the anomaly's direction. The ship then accelerated to superluminal velocities and exited the solar system. The drive was disengaged after 2 hours of superluminal transit. The crew of the ship reported themselves to be in orbit around a massive stellar object, hereafter designated as Dash A. Dash A is a supergiant A-type white star with a radius of 1,436
solar radii, defined by the radius of the Sun. For comparison, 4863-A is close to the size of Saturn's total orbit, 1,940 to 2,169 or 9.195 to 9.957 AU. You know what?
Yeah. This
is good. I've talked before, very early on the podcast, about how I hate when there's like bullshit fictional measurements with no comprehensive thing, but this... They have it. It's the radius of the Sun. It's the distance between the Sun and the Earth. It's a relevant thing. It feels good. It feels like it conveys the tone of being clinical in a way that adds to the story, right? And is comprehensible. This is good writing. I like it.
Thank you. Well, I didn't write it, but...
You didn't fucking write it!
I was glad. I was
Snaps
happy.
Your bones.
You snipped my bones?
Yeah, snap your bones.
Bro,
Mad Voltaic wrote this. How dare you?
Sorry, but you shouldn't have made contact with my bones. Now they've become infecting you.
Why is every conversation we have like a stand battle? it's just like those two kids on the playground.
From an orbital perspective around the object, the solar system is seen to be in its own orbit around the star, located at a distance of 14.5 light years.
No.
Sorry. That was too short. And completing a full rotation about its axis once every 24 hours. The time to complete a full orbit is estimated to be on the order of millions of years. No perceptual phenomena are known to affect the object. How Dash A exists is unclear. The star is among the largest known stars and is vastly larger than any A-type star discovered to date. How it is capable of maintaining stability despite its structure being unsuited for such an existence is not explained by any developed models of stellar evolution, presuming the star developed through a natural or semi-natural process. The nature of the spatio-temporal mechanisms connecting it to the solar system is equally uncertain. Through a thorough astronomical study of the space surrounding Dash A, the anomaly is believed to be outside the bounds of the observable universe.
As seen from Earth.
The density of stars, galaxies, and larger cosmic structures is substantially lower and more diffuse, with little to no formation of superclusters or voids. Readings for anomalous particle emissions, tachyons, triwaves, etc., are lesser in magnitude as well. Until further studies can conclude it is presumed that Dash A is the single largest object in this region of the universe.
God damn.
Yeah. Aside from the solar system, no other objects would orbit around the star. Addendum 2. Researchers studying the SCP-A's surface behaviour at a distance of 6 light-years sent an alert to Division outposts, reporting rapid emergence of anomalous phenomena. The phenomena was reported as visual in nature, witnessed when facing away from the star, and is holding extremely high luminosity. Measurements identified it to a Type B blue-white star. On further elaboration, the phenomenon was said to be a third sun.
Maybe I'm stupid, but what's the implication here?
I don't know, too many suns.
Yeah, so first it already implies there was a second sun that's been normalized. But also, like, it was cool, it was clinical, but, like, I'm sure this is a setup for something, especially because it references another article, but, like, on its own, it's just kind of like a thing that happened, which isn't bad. That adds world building to a canon. I maybe wouldn't have made it an SCP number. I don't know, or maybe I would. It's weird because I have this thing, right?
Okay.
Where I want stories to have a narrative. I want them to stand on their own. But a big draw of SCP is also the little bits of world building like this. So does it really deserve not to be its own article just because it doesn't have like this inner narrative and like a bunch of addendum logs? Like I do kind of like it for what it is. But I don't want to give it an unfair positive rating compared to other stories I've knocked for that. I think the main thing here is this adds a lot to the setting, right? It introduces a lot of measurements. It gives us an idea for the scale and how the Foundation's sort of exploring the stars. It gives us a reference that can be easily used by other articles. Oh, shit's pouring out of this thing that's anomalous for like plenty of like free material. I want to give this a decent rating. I think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, just flat. What do you think?
Well, it's up to you. You were born free. I'd probably agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my rating no matter what. I just meant I wanted to hear your rating as well.
Oh, well, I would also say around 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Sweet. All right, I did upvote it successfully. What do you got next for us, buddy?
Let me get it for you. So next we have SCP-4313, Stormy Seas in the Milky Way by, again, Nat Voltaic.
Nice. Was Nat Voltaic like the head of this
No, they made the canon, yeah.
Nice.
Skywalker, read SCPs, I must.
We're just those guys. We're those like middle-aged, not middle-aged, but like 20s white guys that make Star Wars jokes.
Yeah, that's what we are.
Yeah. I don't even like Star Wars, though.
Listen to your voice. That's not the voice of a stranger.
What does that mean?
It means that you know Yoda. That is the voice of your friend.
He raised you, He actually didn't. I didn't watch Star Wars till I was 18.
Really?
He was an absent father.
Yeah, but when you got to Yoda scene, you like sat up in your chair and was like, I know that face.
I was like, Dad?
You didn't know why. It was like, you started crying, you don't know why.
I was like, shit, this is why I'm so short.
I was like, who is this man? Why do I know him?
Papa!
I was like, you have like a flashback of being put into a pod like Superman by Yoda.
Bye-bye!
Escape this if you must!
Don't let them know!
Dead bugs, let them bite you not!
4313, right?
Yes, absolutely. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. 6 monitoring probes, each equipped with ecto-illuminator equipment. Don't laugh, it's serious.
Devices that generate electric currents, interacting with ectoplasm and causing it to produce visible wavelength light.
Now, I want you to tell me what that just said, because you were definitely concentrating on Pete doing it.
I said that it was devices that generate electric currents, interacting with ectoplasm and causing it to produce visible wavelength light.
You just read it again. It doesn't count.
No, I didn't. I fucking took it in. Why do you think I'm unable to do a voice and also read? Is that a flaw of yours?
No.
Do you think I don't remember anything from Aetheral Space?
Starts eating you.
Yeah, that's what I freaking thought!
You can't talk. You can't talk because I ate your mouth.
Ow.
It doesn't tell you your mouth, your mouth is just gone. Are in orbits that pass by several known edges of SCP-4313. Thrusters to provide any course corrections necessary after ectoplasm collisions. All probe controls be forwarded remotely. No Foundation personnel are permitted to approach or enter the anomaly. In cooperation with NASA, and fucking knew it, cover-ups regarding the phenomena surrounding the Pioneer 11 space probe have been disseminated. Details on Pioneer 11's acceleration changes were altered to appropriately match the anomalous ones experienced by Pioneer 10 due to radiation pressure. The Overhead Zeta monitoring probe is following a parallel trajectory to -Z through interstellar space, dispatched to observe projectile bursts from the anomaly. Foundation cover-up protocols are in place to attribute related high-energy particle bursts to other astronomical phenomena. As -Z's behaviour does not impact the solar system, no further containment for it is necessary.
What was that?
I was so sad.
You changed halfway through.
I was distraught.
You were like, it does not impact the solar system. No further containment for it.
I was distraught. Don't make fun of me. I was sad. I was reliving.
Damn. That's description time.
It is. It's that time again. SCP-4313 is the remnants... Sorry, it is the remnants, that's right, actually, of an extraterrestrial gigafauna, orbiting 20 to 25 astronomical units AU. We know what that means.
Between the orbits of Uranus and Neptune.
Wow. From the Sun. The body is entirely translucent, preventing accurate research into its anatomy.
Approximate measurements for probe intersections estimated to be between 1 to 2 AU wide.
Are we the Jedi Council, discussing this?
What do we do about the extraterrestrial gigafauna?
We must send the clones to take it back.
Do you think Yoda could beat Kaiser from Aetheral Space with the Force?
Probably.
The entire Jedi Council versus Kaiser.
Probably.
Nice.
Well, it depends how quickly they could kill him.
Yeah, that's true. What if he adapted the lightsabers?
Then they're fucked. That's a crush him.
He adapts to to by becoming a Sith.
I see. So this is the energy that surrounds all matter. I can use this.
Midichlorian generation.
Those organs, it's making too many midichlorians.
He becomes a Force being. God, you need to make a character in Aetheral Space whose entire power is based on a fictional power from a movie or something. He's just he became his own XP of another character.
You must eliminate it now. It will become God in 66 seconds.
I just love someone turns you they got no more information than you. They somehow know it's going to turn into God, and they know exactly how long it's going to take.
Ah, my Jedi technique. I haven't used
just
this
imagine
since the
you and me
era.
walking through an alley and someone tries to mug us and we're trying to fight it off, and I'm I turn to you and go, we have to stop him, Darnell. He's going to turn into God in 66 seconds.
On it. We won't let him adapt any further. And then I let out
his eyes
softly.
those organs. You need to get rid of them.
New game. First person to breathe.
He's like a villain. He's I thought this would be an easy mugging. Which
I love the idea of
should I rob first?
Yeah, getting mugged by just some random dude on the street. It becomes a power battle.
Yeah. But I already took your wallet. Even without my wallet, I'm still Anthony. Anthony, I mean.
You were reading after anatomy, I believe?
Yes.
The body is entirely translucent, preventing
accurate research into his anatomy, and is composed of clouds of ectoplasm, which collide with any objects or spacecraft passing through them. In addition to the ectoplasm, the SCP contains high concentrations of non-corporeal metaphysical detritus, visually seen by observers within the anomaly's borders as luminescent cyan viscera. Detritus that collides with any sapient subject merges into their body and subsequently disintegrates. This process results in the subject being implanted with variable emotional memories and sensations, believed to have originated from the SCP prior to its death. Recorded memories have included limb severance, the sense of being pursued, panic, repeated
I love
impalement.
the sense of being pursued. That sounds like a fucking killing intent-ass term. I have the sense of being pursued.
How many eyes are upon me right now?
Just darting around.
I enter, it was you can come out now. You're an amateur at concealing your presence.
Just fucking row into reality. I thought I sensed being pursued.
Now, shall I give you limb severance?
Time for my ability, repeated impalement.
An inability to speak, plummeting from an extreme height, disorientation, loss of mental concentration, exasingulation, and silence.
So if I'm just because we've been goofing a lot, if I understand, basically these satellites make people feel these things, right?
No, there's a giant corpse of a ghost.
Okay. And when it collides with stuff, it makes them feel that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is often accompanied by reported imagery of abstract shapes in impossible colours, like dark red. Confusion resulting from subjects.
It can't exist. Don't even try to convince me dark red exists, asshole. It's red and there's crimson. There's no such thing as dark red.
I'm going insane.
Horrors! I love the idea of like Lovecraftian incomprehensible horror, but it's like perfectly comprehensible things.
Stop! Oh my god, look at you.
No!
SpongeBob, if we read this from the book, it'll summon the ugly barnacle. Confusion resulting from subjects temporarily believing that they are extraterrestrial gigafauna is common. Larger metaphysical constructs exist in the form of 10-Y instances. To observers inside the SCP, these are viewed as elongated red cylinders, possessing a sharpened tip at one end and engines of an indeterminate nature on the other. The instances extend through the width of the SCP in regular patterns, potentially in areas where organ structures used to exist. Subjects that pass through -Y instances claim that no need for further chase exists. Can you read the discovery?
Yeah. SCP-4313 was first encountered by Pioneer 11 space probe, launched by NASA on, I assume it's British time, so... Oh no, this is human time. January, February, March, April, May, June 4th, 1973. It became the second man-made object to reach a trajectory leading outside of the solar system. On reaching a distance from 20 AU from the Sun, on reaching a distance, shouldn't it be of 20 AU from the Sun?
I think so, yeah.
Minus 10,000 points.
Begin to... you smell Doomsgate.
Anomalous, activate thrusters.
Anomalous, become God in 66 seconds.
You have to adapt to him, quick, viewers! Like the video, it's the only way! The probe collided with 4313's ectoplasm clouds and
I just
began
love,
passing
put in
through
any video game, just like, you do something to it and it's like, annoy it slightly, and a timer comes up, like, X will become God in 66 seconds, it starts counting down.
If someone ever makes like a DSCP fan game, I need that to be at least one of the boss battles. Repeated collisions cause deviations in trajectory.
Yoda will become God in 66 seconds.
Decelerating the probe by small but noticeable amounts. No further phenomena was observed until Pioneer 11 reached the 21 AU mark, where probe cameras transmitted a series of images without prompting. The images showed the probe's approach towards an SCP-4313-Y instance, nearing until reaching the surface. Subsequent images are of abstract shapes and mimetic patterns, which, when observed, are seen as assortments of darkened limbs and hands. Contacts dropped for 1 week before returning when Pioneer 11 exited the SCP. The exit process was uneventful, and all probe functions resumed as normal. So the probe itself entered the ghost?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
-Z. On 10/01/2002, soon after the radio signal of Pioneer 11 became too faint to detect, a series of high-energy X-ray bursts were detected from the probe's direction. This reported on 10/01/2002, 26/09/2015, and on 30 dates from 2020 to 2025. The Messier 2 exploration vessel was sent to the predicted location of the probe on 23/04/2025. Pioneer 11 was found equipped with an array of anomalous weaponry. 9 appendages visually consistent to -Y instances radially extend from its chassis, each ending in railguns that fire projectiles at relativistic velocities nearing 0.9 C.
C's the speed of light, by the way.
Okay. The X-ray bursts originated from the energy released by projectile launches and the collisions the projectiles would have with the surrounding interplanetary medium. Few common trajectories for the projectiles exist. The intended targets are not known.
So when the ghost touched people, they just got all sad, but when it touches the probe, it made it like the kill machine. Correct?
Maybe. The -Z designation for the probe was established in May of 2025. Since then, only one transmission from -Z has been recorded. Quiet. Stop whispering above me. I am still hunting.
Oh, he's like a space predator.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's like the space ghost that killed the other space ghost and it possessed the probe to get other ones.
That's cool as shit. Oh, so one megafauna passed through and it was just like, oh,
I've got to get the fuck out of this after me. I have the sense of being pursued.
And then this other one is like, time
like,
to hunt.
Sorry, you were 2 steps behind.
This guy, I can't believe the probe got Gretchen hailed. This new form suits me just fine. Upvoted 12 out of 10. I loved that. I think I'm starting to become a fan of Nat Voltaic. Have we read any of their stuff before?
I think we have.
Very, very cool. What's next on the docket?
Next one we have is SCP-4774. This is called The Ninth Planet, and it's by Malice Aethelthorpe.
Link it to me. Let's see. What's it called again, and who's it by?
The Ninth Planet, and it's by Malice Aethelthorpe.
Ooh, this one's got a shitload of upvotes. Surely that means it's good.
Let's get into it. Let's find out for ourselves.
I had to check because I thought Malice Aethelthorpe was another fake Tanhoney name, but it is indeed Malice Aethelthorpe.
I know this person. We're friendly.
Wait, really?
Which we were years ago when I last spoke to them.
Oh, I was like, I don't think we've had them on podcast, have we? Have we?
I used to be in like a group chat with a lot of different writers. I think they were one of them. So
I am aware that SCP has like 80,000 group chats. Are you still in any of them?
No, it was IRC. This was during IRC times.
Back in the... Wow, you really are old.
It was
Actually, having also been
when
on
I was
IRC.
on it was already old.
I also used IRC.
It was already out of date when we were on it.
Yeah. Do you still hang out with any... Because I know, like, you used to be close with Salmon, I remember you mentioning. Like, do you have any groups like that where it's, like, you and the old heads reminiscing on the olden days?
Not really. Only I remain.
Wow, that's kind of sad. You don't check in with any of your old friends, ever? You checked in with me before.
Yeah.
You're never like, hey, Salmon, hope your life's good. Just so you know, I appreciate
hello
you.
to people, yeah.
Do you hit them with your, like, Tanhoney chuniness?
No, of course not. That's like a human.
Oh. Are you fucking stupid? Alright, we were reading articles, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, thank you for fucking... This is like the perfect article length for an SCP article. If this was our whole podcast, my mentality would be so much better. Everyone's always complaining, all Darnell does is bitch. Well, that's because every article we read is like 8 fucking addendums of like MTF guys jerking each other off and talking about sad about their trauma.
I have an idea about that, by the way. I want to ask you. I want to talk to you afterwards about that. I've got an idea.
Oh, did I do something wrong?
No. What? What do you mean?
Oh.
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought you were like gonna reprimand me
Hey.
for insulting the art of SCP-dom. All right, let's read this. Come on, Pop.
What do you call me?
I called you Pop for some reason.
Okay, son. Item number SCP-4774.
You're so old that I instinctively felt.
You felt like paternal? Many of our viewers say I'm a paternal presence on the podcast.
You're definitely not paternal.
Like
I don't know.
Roosevelt fireside chats.
I think what
father.
happened is I meant to call you Bud, and my brain just defaulted to Pop for some reason.
It was a slip. You let it slip.
Yeah,
That you
a
see me as
Freudian
father
slip
figure.
in the worst possible sense.
You see me as someone. You look up to me as a father.
Jesus Christ. I will say this, and I'll never say it to you again, you cocky son of a bitch.
Okay,
but I actually do look up.
mad.
I actually do look up to you as a writer. I think you're a good writer. Like, I think, especially, it pisses me off when I see people, like, bitch about Among Us article or something, because it's like, you're actually a good writer, and I feel like a lot of your good writing gets overshadowed by your most popular stuff. And naturally, when something gets popular, it's always going to have people that hate it for one reason or another. And it just pisses me off, because I'm like, you're a good fucking writer. No one reads Aetheral Space, but everyone still fucking talks about Bobble, and that makes me angry. You know what I mean?
I'm happy that people talk about Bubble, because I liked writing Bubble.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you wrote Bobble when you were, like, what, 15?
Yeah.
You're, like, so far beyond that level.
It was so close to being terrible as well. I almost put a spooky nursery rhyme in it.
I remember I got, like, viscerally angry, because the other day I saw, like, people were shit-talking 5000, but then they were like, Bobble's cool, yo. I want to make this thing kind of based around Bobble. And I was like, fuck.
If you don't want me at my Among Us SCP, you don't deserve me at my Bobble the Clown.
Oh, man. Anyway, let's read.
Absolutely, let's read. I love reading. Special containment procedure. Well, item number SCP-4774, anomaly class Euclid. Special containment procedures.
Why are you singing?
Because I'm
Is this a
happy.
musical? Euclid. Here I come in, getting down on
Is it safe? Is it safe? How could it be safe? We've got it in containment now.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that fucking video going around of the dude doing like a musical about Groundhog Day?
No.
So if you don't know, there's lore to Groundhog's Day, the holiday, not the movie.
Okay. I thought you were bring out like the fan Bible or something for the movie.
So in the canon, right? For the groundhog that like tells us if there's winter or spring comes early is the same groundhog since like this started hundreds of years ago. I was
going to ask, is it like a common ability or is this one specific groundhog?
No, it's one groundhog named Phil, and they feed him an elixir that keeps him alive every year. That's the lore.
He's immortal. Okay,
but the trick is he has a wife named Phyllis who doesn't get the elixir. This is all canon lore.
His loved ones pass to the sands of time.
Yeah, so the song's about that. He's like, you can have the fame, Phyllis. You can
They won't let him die.
Hold on, I'll show it to you after. Remind me to show it to you because it's like legitimately good, and they're like people who like.
In order to like exploit his ability to see the future. They keep him alive and immortal while he must watch everyone else fade away.
That's what the song's about. It's actually really good. Okay, fuck it. God damn it. I don't.
There's no point in doing it now.
Yeah. I'll show it to you. Do not let me forget to show you this. It's important. All right, let's continue.
Okay. Special containment procedures. No human being is to come within 50 AU, which is, of course, 1 astronomical unit, the average distance between planet Earth and the Sun. We've learned this already.
Fuck yeah.
Of the supposed...
by the way, CSS, I normally don't praise it because I prefer the writing and I don't want to like jerk off articles for that, but I really love like when you pop up the footnote on this article, like it looks very sci-fi, you know what I mean? Like it's not too over the top, it's like a little pop-up window. I love it.
It looks nice. As well as the possible natural SCP concealment field presence.
SEP concealment?
That's what I said.
You said SCP.
I said SCP.
I guess SCP too fast sounds like
yeah,
SCP.
It sounds exactly the same. A CP. I'm so SCP. The Foundation has erected a mobile antimemetic sensory filter to block the SCP from view, if it does indeed exist. No persons, Foundation personnel or otherwise, are to attempt to bypass these measures or otherwise discern the nature of the SCP under penalty of termination.
I assume it's like a black hole or like a antimatter.
It's the ninth planet.
Speaking of, if you think about it, but like I can imagine if the Foundations existed like 50 years ago, they probably thought black holes were anomalies, right?
Probably. Well, it'll be under like -EX at this point then.
Yeah, someone should write in the EX about that. Yeah, sorry guys.
The list. This shit's normal.
You know what would be really interesting? Someone has to have done this. An article that was EX, but then it got un-EX because no, it actually is anomalous.
It's like, never mind. Get it back.
Sorry.
Get it back. It's not New York.
Continue.
Acquiring evidence sufficient to confirm or deny the SCP's existence will be considered tantamount to genocide and handled accordingly.
Jesus Christ. Is it like Shy Guy on a big scale?
Let's see. Description. SCP-4774 is the hypothetical Planet 9, a trans-Neptunian gas giant potentially orbiting the Sun at a distance around 700 AU. If it exists, the SCP would be 2 to 4 times the diameter of Earth and approximately 10 times the mass. The SCP's anomalous properties become apparent whenever any subject attempts to consider the possibility of the planet's existence. Subjects will universally arrive, even when not previously informed of the natures of space, planets in general, or the universe beyond the Earth, at the following conclusions.
Hold on. Doesn't this article go against the purpose of this? Because the article makes people think Planet 9 exists. Wouldn't it be more effective to just, like, put out...
Well, it's if you consider whether or not it would exist, you come to these conclusions immediately.
Oh, so you have to decide one way or the other.
Well, it's like when you think, oh, could this exist? And then you feel it's like you think these things universally.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
So, at the following conclusions. That if the SCP existed, it would account for a number of irregularities in the motions of various astronomical bodies. That if the SCP didn't exist, it would account for the lack of any human interaction with the planet at any point in history. That the possibility of life existing on the planet cannot be ruled out. That the possibility of sapient life existing on the planet cannot be ruled out. That the lack of evidence for the planet's existence could be accounted for by a natural sensory extrapolation, or SEP concealment field encompassing the region. That the evidence for the planet's existence could be accounted for by a number of other minor sources, anomalous and non-anomalous. The current theory among research staff is that the effects of the SCP represent either an anomalous mimetic hypothesis masking the state of the planet, or an ontological anomaly surrounding its potential existence. Research Team 44 LaSalle have been assigned to the anomaly to attempt to solve the question one way or another. No, they haven't. The research team has been disbanded. See addendum for more details.
Oh, they tried some shit.
Let's see what they tried. Addendum Incident 1. On 06/06/2021, a group of 5 human subjects was selected to undertake the first voyage to the predicted location of the SCP, on board the semi-autonomous exploration vessel Messier 02. This wasn't intentional. I do like how all these articles have the same spaceship.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense, because, like, I imagine the
You can't
spaceship
throw
capable of
shit
that kind
out.
of travel isn't something you could, like, mass-produce and hide.
At least
you know
not in
what
2021.
I mean? Yeah.
While the initial stage of the voyage passed without incidents, complications arose when 002 began to draw closer to destination.
Although there's a plot hole, because the last article said that they didn't have the drive until 2024.
Well, do they need the
this
drive?
one-
This is
Yeah,
inside
to
the solar
travel.
system.
Oh. Okay.
Well, the initial... So it was a faster than light drive they had before, so they needed that to leave. Like, in a timely fashion.
Gotcha.
Rather than simply landing on the planet or passing through the empty space, cameras reported a large area of visual distortion, followed by a bright flash of light. The ship's internal systems malfunctioned, jump-starting the line distortion drive, never mind there it is, and propelling the vessel far beyond the edge of the solar system.
Well.
You got to turn your curse on me, how?
10,000 years,
I
Curse of
see.
Ra!
You obtained that spell that allows you to reflect attacks, but then you
Plays the
targeted
fucking-
yourself with your curse and reflected
The
attack
opening
at
of the
me.
Yu-Gi-Oh song, it's like, doo-doo-doo-doo.
I see, so you were under attack by a curse, but you used your reflect skill to reflect the curse back at me.
Yeah, and when I reflect, it looks exactly like when you do a perfect parry in Smash Bros. And it's like,
A curse is essentially an attack originating from yourself and attacking yourself, but once it hits the reflexor, it goes to me as the only other valid target. This guy. He's
So
lived
you've
with this
discovered
curse for
it.
many years. He understands
your
it.
combat IQ must be close to 1,000,000.
But if all of it will be meaningless if you can't stop me in 66 seconds.
Before I become God. The curse was the only thing preventing my ascension.
Now that I managed to taste that curse you attacked me with, I know the source code of the universe.
Jesus Christ, the source code of the universe, that fucks. Anyway, weren't we reading an article?
Yes, so I'm propelling the
Once
vessel
upon a
far
time.
beyond the edge of the solar system. The crew were eventually recovered 34 days later than planned, but unable to recall any aspect of the voyage prior to their recovery. As the visual distortion later explained by equipment malfunction, and the memory loss by a slow leak of the LDD coolant systems, the SCP's status remains uncertain. After extensive questioning, it has been revealed that the SCP-affected subjects now arrive at the following additional hypotheses. That, if it existed, the SCP would be incapable of supporting intelligent life. That any such life forms as developed on the planet would necessarily be forced to adopt a method of partial non-existence due to the planet's natural inhospitality. That, if the planet was found not to exist, the inhabiting life forms would clearly not be capable of existence. That, since the SCP is hypothetical, the life forms native to the planet must also be hypothetical. That investigating the SCP further would reveal more details of the planet, and therefore render it either proven or disproven, eliminating the possibility of any hypothetical native entities existing. That, if
But what about them themselves? Does it only matter if humans think of it?
Well, it's not if you think of it, it's if you prove whether it exists or not.
Right, but, like, wouldn't they prove that by being there?
Well, the hypothetical. That if the SCP Foundation truly exists from the greater good and considers sapient life, hypothetical or not, to be some degree human, the preservation of such a hypothetical race would be worth the cost of not exploring the true nature of planets. Therefore, if such a claim to ethical standing is taken as true, the SCP Foundation and related organisations should prevent any such exploration and allow the native entities to continue subsisting in a state of ontological superposition. Current containment procedures were enacted shortly following the incident. Requests to classify the potential inhabitants of the SCP as an anomalous phenomenon in their own right have been denied, as no evidence for their existence, or lack thereof, has been or will be found. Further information on the anomaly can be obtained by considering the SCP.
So, there was one thing. So, like, on one hand, you could assume, oh, maybe they're tricking them, but I kind of like this, that if it's real. It's clever, it's well written, but I think what I'm starting to like about this canon, right, is in theme with, like, a space-age exploration.
It's more optimistic, yeah.
Yeah, not just that, but are you familiar with, like, sort of Age of Enlightenment thinking, blah, blah, blah? It kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, through science we can discover things, we want to make life better for people, and it feels like as they explore the stars, they're filled more with like wonder and hope than like, oh, there's a big space Cthulhu waiting to eat Earth if we think about it too hard. You know what I mean? Not that those things are bad. I'm not trying to shit on SCP in general, but it's just like it's beyond just a breath of fresh air. It's like a genuinely pleasant and fun and interesting canon to read, and I think it's really what the podcast, or at least I needed. I'm very much enjoying it. Another solid 12 out of 10 from me. I really like it.
Yeah, I really like this one as well. I've read it previously, and I enjoy it.
Nice. All right, how long is the last?
I also had a look, and I proved that the planet doesn't exist. See ya, entities.
Get genocided on.
Oh, how can it be genocide? They never existed.
There'd be one U.S. general who's like, we have to know if it exists. It might have oil.
They could attack the U.S. They want our land.
I mean, if you think about it, if what they make you think is true, like, they could never be hostile, because if they went anywhere else,
that would be proof that they exist or don't exist.
Exactly. So they're like incapable of hurting people. They're like enforced to be peaceful.
There exists even a 0.1% chance of an American citizen being harmed. I have to do what must be done.
There's oil there, damn it! Slams fist on desk. Nuke it!
There's a line that must not be crossed. And these bastards crossed it when the moment they were born.
Jesus. Alright, what's the fourth article?
Bless the United States of America.
I love evil American general character. It's like a trope in so many movies, but it's so good.
This is SCP-3841 for the last one. This is Death and Rebirth by Matt Voltaic.
OMG, I love Death and Rebirth.
Really? I only like Rebirth. I don't like dying.
I think death adds meaning to life.
Yeah, but then the rebirth happens.
Yeah.
That happens for everyone, right? Not just me.
Yeah, of course. Smile.
I love dying. Hate being reborn.
Alright, this one, I think we have time for it. We might go like a crumb over an hour or whatever.
No, they'll kill us. Okay, let's go. Item number SCP-3841.
Wait, who wrote this and what's it called?
This is called Death and Rebirth by Matt Voltaic, who just done a whole bit based on the name.
Sorry, you have to understand, I have brain damage from the coolant leak in the ship.
Of course. Object class safe. Special containment. We should probably deal with that at some point, but we gotta keep reading to fuel the engine. Special containment procedures. Cover stories attributing the debris ring around Luton B to asteroid impacts and other non-knowledge stellar phenomena have been disseminated. Discovery of the SCP by civilian astronomers is impossible due to the planet's atmospheric haze. However, in the event this does occur, any resultant research will be discredited by Foundation-run academic journals, which will publish their own papers presenting different explanations for the discoveries. Amnestisation of involved persons may be informed if deemed necessary. 4 monitoring satellites and surface observation probes have been deployed by Foundation extrasolar exploration vessels to monitor the planet for signs of further activity. Luton B is classified as off-limits for potential human interstellar colonization in the near future.
Sounds like it's maybe something similar to the last article, where it's like, planet, don't go there.
Description. The SCP designates the remnants of a halted K-class event, K-3841, that occurred on the exoplanet Luton B,
orbiting in the habitable zone of red dwarf Luton star, 12.20 years away, with a mass of 2.63 Earth masses. The planet is predicted to have been highly Earth-like prior to K3841.
At an unknown time in the recent past. The exact details of the event are unclear, though it is known to have resulted in the extinction of all life on Luton B, including its native sapient civilization, hereafter Lutanians.
No!
Can't have shit in the solar system. The primary cause of K3841 is presumed to have been SCP-3841-Horseshoe.
No, it's Omega. What the fuck?
It's a horseshoe.
You don't know what an Omega sign is?
I don't, because I only know Alpha.
This guy doesn't know math. He doesn't know science.
What does
he doesn't know the Greek alphabet. What do you know?
If someone told you that I have just come into existence immediately prior to each recording, you'd probably believe them.
You know what's fucked up about you is that on a surface level, and I'm not saying you're dumb, because you're far from dumb, but you come off as like a very smart, oh, this guy did well in school. I don't think you did.
I did well in certain aspects.
In English, probably.
Yeah. All I know is the humanities.
You went through college. I know you graduated college. So, how did you get by all the... Do you not have to do those classes in England? Do they not make you do the science and the math?
I did them at the time, I presume.
They were in a state of theoretical existence.
They faded with time. Okay, so Omega, an organism whose skeletal remains span 2 continents on Luton B. The cadaver is 3,300 kilometres long and is hexapedal in nature, similar in structure to the bodies of Lutanians, the frontmost 2 legs possessing feet that could act as graspers. When alive, it likely had a skull with the same structure of Lutanian skulls, having 2 lower jaws and an upper jaw, but the entire head region has been destroyed. Fragments of it have been found in craters across the planet, in orbits around Luton B, and in orbits around Luton Star at the escape velocity of the planet. Surrounding the lower portion of the skeleton is a crater with a 300-kilometre radius.
Do you think the skeleton's related to that other article we read about the big creature?
Probably not, to be honest, because that was just why it was incorporeal.
Gotcha.
Is a crater with a 300-kilometre radius, likely the site where Omega began its formation. The hind legs and tail structure of the skeleton are incomplete, suggesting that the organism had not fully formed when it expired. What anomalous means the organism used to stay alive in spite of its size are unclear. What substance forms the skeleton is unknown. No tools, such as drills and laser carvers, have penetrated its surface, and no amount of applied heat or force have caused damage. Decaying organic matter is attached to the sides of the skeleton, holding some skeletons together, which progressively converts into a reddish-brown slurry of organic chemicals that falls from Omega. This currently covers much of the region surrounding Omega, filling former lakes and oceans. The last of the matter attached to the skeleton is expected to finish decaying in 50 years. Other structures of anomalous origin have been discovered in the vicinity of Omega. Exploration teams investigating Lutanian cities found several structures of concentric circles formed from thousands of Lutanian cadavers, all of which have been attached by fusion of the limbs.
Ew.
This place got Junji Ito'd. Skyscrapers, primarily those ringing the craters, have calcified organic growths formed from fused Lutanian bodies that extend in directions away from the crater's epicenter. These reach lengths of up to 0.6 kilometers and heights up to 1 kilometers, many of having collapsed in recent years. Symbols of potentially formic nature are also carved into mountain ranges, islands, and remaining skyscrapers. You mean they turned everyone into a philosopher's stone?
Oh!
This is Full Metal Alchemist. Can I popcorn to you for this second half?
The Luton B is barren part?
Yes, please.
Luton B is barren as a result of K3841.
I thought it was Duke.
Nope. What?
I thought it was Duke.
No living. No.
Like Baron and Duke, both titles.
Oh, I see. Different kind of barren.
I see you called.
No. No living fauna, flora, and microscopic. No. Hang on. Luton B is barren as a result of K3841. No living fauna, flora, and microscopic life have been found, and all regions previously containing liquid water are entirely dry. CO2 and methane are the most abundant atmospheric gases, forming a dense haze that encompasses the planet and blocks light from Luton's star. Atmospheric conditions and radiation levels are consistent with those of global nuclear fallout. Footnote, if you can read that.
Supported by the presence of highly radiant craters in cities and previous inhabited locales, mainly those near Omega, underdetonated dud nuclear weaponry, and emptied missile silos at discovered military sites.
A gradually dissipating debris ring of rocky matter orbits Luton B. Its origins are uncertain. Little knowledge exists on Lutanian civilization. Present observations indicate that they had reached the same level of technological advancement as modern humanity, though what culture they had has not been determined. Book-like objects and the remnants of computer systems have been uncovered, but have all contained cognito-hazardous depictions of Omega that induce vegetative states and organisms that view them.
The amount of cognito-hazards present in information sources decreases the further away the source was from Omega's crater.
All Lutanian cadavers discovered to date lack a brain-equivalent organ, despite the presence of empty spaces in their skulls where a brain could reside. Most cadavers were found with their heads pointing in the direction of the Omega's crater. While the exact events of K3841 are not understood, hypotheses have been proposed to explain the death of Omega. Initially, it was believed that mass nuclear bombardment of the head caused its destruction, which, while potentially an explanation for the nuclear fallout, was ruled out after tests with nuclear equipment failed to damage recovered skeleton fragments. No other known weaponry possessed by the Lutanians could have caused the damage. The leading hypothesis is that, during the formation of Omega, it gained such a mass that it generated a gravitational field sufficient enough to alter the orbit of a small moon of Luton B. Continued alterations from the field and further size growth led to the moon's orbit intersecting with Omega, resulting in it directly impacting the head. The accidental death then halted K3841. This is consistent with the existence of the debris field and the widespread the wide spread of skull fragments. Luton B is not expected to be habitable for the next 1,000 years, if ever. So it's just like a creature that grew so big it fucked everything.
Yeah, it was like, I think there was some sort of ritual. It's like, we'll all become one or some shit. And then it was
Clifford?
but then it was too big, and the moon hit it.
Take notes, Clifford.
Because we know what you're planning, Clifford. There's only ruin waiting for you there.
Addendum -1.
We still love you as you are now.
Omega Decay Slurry Alterations.
You don't need to become the ultimate life form, Clifford. Or shall I call you by your original name, Fenrir?
Fuck off!
He is stained with Thor's blood.
Jesus Christ. From 2030 to 2033, probes that had been continually analyzing the chemicals in the Omega Decayed Matter slurry detected increasing quantities of chemicals similar in nature to amino acids. Oh, new primordial soup!
Oh.
Yeah, if you didn't know, that means like proteins are forming. Life's about to pop up.
Let me take a sip.
This is a life finds a way SCP. RNA and DNA equivalent structures emerged soon after. In 2034, the first single-celled organisms were observed, and as of 2035, colonies of multicellular organisms have formed in the slurry and the land bordering it. The colonies primarily convert CO2 to O2. Additional probes and monitoring devices are scheduled for deployment on Luton B. Previously predicted timespans for habitability are under reconsideration.
This was an interesting one. I quite like this.
Upvote 12 out of 10. In general, I fuck with this canon so hard. Sorry to ruin the exact ranged rating, but I had the upvote because it was good. Yeah. I enjoyed that a lot. We have comments to read, right?
Absolutely do.
In theory. Quaker Button-Nose says, if you'd like another Stormbreath article with a fun MTF exploration log, I recommend SCP-1444, Hunger. It's fairly long, I am already dismissing this, but it doesn't drag or feel slow, and it has a really clever twist on the MTF Explores Weird Places and Dies formula. JT says, no, that's just a theory. A dark forest theory. Thanks for watching. Y93 says, how come Aetheral Space isn't on Spotify? Please explain. Tanoni.
I don't have
Lazy.
time. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't judge Tan for lazy because I wouldn't want to do it. We've recorded like 13 arcs, so we'd have to convert each MP3.
Hundreds of episodes.
It would be
I'm just not doing it, to be honest.
Plus, a lot of the early episodes are bad audio quality. But you're not wrong in that we should have been doing it as we were doing Aetheral Space. That's on us. Yeah.
Maybe one day
if someone wanted to be
do it for me.
our unpaid intern who converts
ANOMALOUS.
It wouldn't even be hard. It would just
it's just busy
It would just
work.
take a lot of time, yeah. Like hours of work. Floppy the Thirth, that's a fun name, says, MT2K21 says, swaps hands and feet. The guys with a 4 fetish, but
Why
really
did you
hate
do that
hands.
to me? Why did
Also,
you swap
Tan,
my hands and feet?
Also, Tan, don't give people cancer. It was you, right?
What? Oh.
You gave people cancer.
What can I say?
Floppy
Last time we didn't do an episode, something else happened to the royal family. What can I say?
God damn. Floppy the Third says, yay, I'm finally caught up. If you guys want another fun canon to read, I would recommend Resurrection, Old Foes. It is a singular storyline in which the Foundation has to use SCPs to stop other SCPs. It does a great job at explaining what the relevant SCPs are, so you don't have to click crosslinks to check which anomaly they're talking about. Password, Samsung Television.
What?
What? Huh? Huh?
It's true, you got it.
Huh? They saw the future because this week's password is Samsung Television. The
groundhog commented that.
Oh my god. Daryl Griner says, came from Spotify just to tell Darnell that he is not alone. I also have monkey toes, and that's exactly what my family calls him too. My guy! Daryl Griner, 702!
I think I have monkey
Finally!
toes, to be honest. I can grab
You have no idea. I feel like I've just overcome persecution. There are tears in my eye. Remember when Subaru... okay, hold on. ReZero spoilers. Remember when Subaru finally gets to explain he returns by death? That's what I feel right now.
I have monkey
toes! I have monkey toes!
You need to explain it to a monkey.
Yeah. Sugarcane Soldier. That name goes hard as fuck. Mom, can we have American Revolutionary War? No, honey. We have American Revolutionary War at home. American Revolutionary War at home. 13 out of 10 doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. For real. Love the podcast as always. Ad Astra per Aspera seems really interesting, and I can't wait for more.
Well,
news.
welcome.
Palu says, "Let's go." Ad Astra per Asper is my favorite canon. Is it just me, or do we have like a new wave of commenters? Like, there's no familiar names here.
The second generation.
MT is
It's
here.
it's like a
JJ.
VTuber agency.
Yeah, for real. Gayhold Mill says, "Dark Forest theory? We're making cake?"
What?
I don't know. Have you ever had forest cake?
No, I have not.
It was my grandpa's favorite. I'll have to show you that sometime. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. And, well, I guess we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!